Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the Ordinary Boy Boxing channel. Now in today's video it's going to be something a little bit different. It's not going to be about an upcoming fight or a prediction or kind of a ramble about a current fighter or a situation or anything like this. This video is going to be about a video that I came across quite recently. It was an interview with Chris Eubank Sr by someone called Rob Moore. And he interviewed him for over an hour. And I'm just going to get it up now because I've just seen this video and I wanted to give my reaction kind of as soon as I can. So what's this video called? I understand as well that I'm giving this video a bit of promotion. I don't get many views, so I don't feel too bad about this. If you're watching this channel, you probably have seen this video. Right, what we got? So we've got Rob Moore, and the video. Well, he's done a few on it, but the main one is called Bizarre in capital letters, Chris Eubank exclusive, with a picture of Chris Eubank Jr looking unhinged, with Chris Eubank, I am king. He then followed it up with about 4 videos that were kind of offshoots of the same video to try and get more views, I'd imagine. This was one of the most exploitive pieces with a fighter that I've ever seen. Chris obviously suffering from mental illness. You can tell that from watching it. It's been known for quite a while that he's been suffering. When I think it came out kind of when the Chris Eubank Conor Benn situation happened, that Chris Eubank Sr was suffering. As I said, the interview was just so exploitive. He's almost at times goading Chris Eubank. Anyone that's ever seen anyone that's got bipolar will see clear as day that Chris Eubank is suffering. So he went ahead and did this interview, and then he put it out, monetized it, no doubt, and then did follow-up videos about the same thing to try and get more views. Following up with Chris Eubank, my son will never be world champion. Chris Eubank opens up about the death of his son Sebastian. Chris Eubank's bizarre bear hunting story. Chris Eubank exposes Deontay Wilder. You're trying to make as much money out of this as you can, mate, and clout, aren't you? The video got a lot of hate on the comments. So he then did kind of a follow-up where him and his little mate interviewed him. Like he's kind of some celebrity now. He's had this interview with Chris Eubank. I've got a few notes on that. I watched most of the Chris Eubank interview. I couldn't actually bear to watch all of it because it was so sad. And he's just antagonising him throughout the interview as well. Just try and get, because he knows he's going to get him views. The more little bits he can make out of it, the better. Yeah, so he did his follow-up video. He says in it, people were asking for an explanation video. What? Poor way of getting more views. Were people asking for the other 4 videos you did after of little slices of Chris Eubank Sr being mentally unwell? And they didn't, did they? So we have this interview like he's some celebrity, like he's Piers Morgan or something, asking about an interview. Just crazy. He starts to moan about how Chris Eubank Sr was late. He's ill. He's really ill. And don't even start with this crap that you didn't know he was poorly before this interview. Of course you did. Because that was another thing that if they didn't know, I knew. And I weren't researching to interview him. You knew. And what is Chris Eubank Sr.'s agent doing? He obviously needs help. But his agent's still putting him up for these interviews, knowing what they're going to come out like. He then goes on to mock how he walked in. I mean, again, the guy's not well. Like, what are you doing? This guy, this Rob Moore, it's the first time I've seen him. I had a little look at his channel. He does stuff about Andrew Tate and yeah, that's the only kind of other stuff I saw on Andrew Tate. So he's just going for kind of what's going to get the most views. He's one of those YouTubers. Yeah, as I said, it was well known before the interview that Chris Eubank Sr wasn't well. He says he tries to defend it because he's obviously, you can see from his reaction during this little interview how much hate he's got for it. He even says he took some bits out because it was too exploitive. What about the hour and a half you put out? What about what you called the video? Was that not exploitative? Like we're supposed to be like, oh, well done, mate. He then says, because obviously with how Senior is at the moment, you can see he's quite confrontational. He goes, oh, well, I wasn't intimidated. You look like you were going to shit yourself during several points of that video, mate. So before you give it the big un, look back at your reaction to when you were questioning him. And you can just, you can tell by the way in this explanation video, you can see that he's got loads of shit for this. And he will know deep down this is morally wrong. He should never have put that. Let's say we buy the fact that Rob Moore did not know Chris Eubank Sr was ill, which he did. But let's say he didn't. You did the interview, you saw what happened, and you still put it out. And you're monetising it, no doubt. And you're making little offshoots of it. So you basically, what you're doing, mate, you're lower than low. You're basically making money and making clout off the fact that someone's mentally ill. That's what you're doing. And there'll be more of these videos. He will get as many out as he can. He claims that Senior isn't hurting anybody, so just let him be. You could see from that video that he's not well. So, alright, let's say, alright, he's not hurting anyone, he's not hurting himself yet. But you still have no problem with putting this out on the internet. So hopefully Chris Eubank Sr does get the help that he needs. His son died recently, this is probably what's triggered it. But when he hopefully does get better, he's then got to have the embarrassment of that being on YouTube. Because you wanted to make a few quid and get your rep up or whatever you're doing. He says that people intervene too much in people's lives. People exploit people too much in people's lives, and this is exactly what you're doing, mate. I didn't want to make a really long video on this because there's only so much I've got to say without repeating myself. The fact is, mate, is you can talk about family members that have been ill. You can talk about how you didn't know. You can talk about all of these things and about how people shouldn't intervene in people's lives and all this stuff. You know what that video is. It's still up there. It's still got adverts on. Your little explanation video's still got adverts on. The 4 follow-up videos you've done have still got adverts on. Right? You talk about you've got a history with people with mental illness. Then you of all people shouldn't be doing this. And it just absolutely just infuriated me. Watching the video was bad enough, then watching his little interview he did with his mate about his experience was even more cringy. 60% of that was him trying to subtly promote his other stuff that he's got coming out. Well, soon I've got an interview with a sniper, and when I did this Andrew Tate thing, and watch back the video and go on my website, like, we're not stupid, we know what you're doing. You've gone and interviewed a mentally ill person who is obviously manic at the moment. You're then monetising it, putting it out on YouTube, raking in the money and the views. Do you feel good about that? Are you glad that your channel's going to do well over that, are you? Now, for me, I'm aware that anyone who watches this is probably, if they haven't, going to go and watch his video. Unfortunately, that's a side effect of my video. As you can tell, and I'm sure people will say, I'm not getting anywhere near the views that Rob Moore is. And if the only way I could get views was to do something like that, I'm happy with my 50 to 100 views a YouTube video. That's fine with me, that's cool. Because I can sleep at night. So, yeah, I'm aware that people will say, well, you're sending traffic to his channel. If I ever did get big enough to become monetised, I can tell you now, this video, even if it did 1 million views, would not get monetised. Because it's to do with this. It's to do with someone exploiting someone else. If you're a fan of him, if you subscribe to his channel, unsubscribe. Because this is the kind of dog shit that he's going to do. And the more people that watch it, the more times he's going to do these kind of things, and the more people that are going to exploit it. So this is a little video about the Rob Moore interview with Chris Eubank Sr. Rob, I hope you're happy, mate. You know, Chris Eubank Sr. is a legend. He's gone through a really hard time at the moment. His son's recently died. He's obviously really suffering with his mental health. And you've put these videos up. Well done. I hope you enjoy, I don't know what you earn from it, your £100 from it or whatever you're going to earn. And anyone in the future, if you're going to do an interview and you see Rob Moore's name, don't do it. Because he's just an exploitative piece of shit. This is all he is. Anyway, thank you for watching. Sorry it was quite a negative video today, but I saw this video online and I felt like I needed to kind of do something about it. If you haven't already, do subscribe to the channel. It really does help the channel. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and leave a comment if you like. Anyway, until next time, I shall see you in the next video.